live, but we are preparing.
So where are you guys? You don't think this is where you're going to sit, so...
Yeah. So ghetto.
What's that? Oh, that's going to work. It's going to be there.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be here, then you're going to challenge Carl and Wayne to their live show. Do you want me to pour you?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm not very used to rum, so just say when.
It's going to be a long show. You can be behind us. Hey.
Is that enough or is it too much?
Okay. You can always top it up.
Alright.
Alright. We got 6 more minutes.
Yeah.
So who's ever here earlier, you're watching behind the scenes stuff.
You've not heard your Miss P times 2 speed, have you?
Oh, Miss Me,
Yeah,
no
this-
way you understand me.
Yes, it sounds exactly like that.
I don't know. Whoa.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I'm fat.
No, it just, to be honest, it does add on weight. Oh my god.
Why is there?
Is that, to be honest, it does add on weight. Oh my god.
Why is there?
To be honest, it does add on
No, because I'll be using proper mics.
Okay.
The mic that we have prepared for the previous. Yeah, you. My head got chopped off.
I think you would move this way, so when you did come in that space there.
This is the most uncomfortable sitting position.
Switch with me, guys.
Then you get your head chopped off. Get it?
This is my weight.
Then you get your head chopped off. Ha!
Yeah, that'll be better. Way better. Yeah, that'll be better. Way better.
No, but the table in the way. See?
Oh yeah. There's always that one shit that has to screw up.
I know. Pull this thing off. Ah.
There's always that one shit that has to screw up.
I know. If Muhammad cannot go to the mountain, Muhammad will push the mountain. I need something else. Pass me the. Yeah. I need something else. Pass me the.
Oh, we're still waiting for that one.
we can move the chair further down towards. So. We can move the chair further down. Aha. No, too much. We need to tilt a bit more. I know we tilt ourselves or tilt the camera.
I also here and see how it looks like when I was with my ear.
I know we tilt ourselves or tilt the camera.
I also here and see how it looks like when I was with my ear. Yeah, now it's chopped off.
Whoop, there it is. See, audio also now.
Sound cue? I think it should be alright.
Wow. We are getting it in London. Cock shot.
Great. Yeah, it looks pretty alright.
This table, corner of this table. Okay lah.
Yeah, it should be alright.
Let's not be pedantic about this. Okay. Let me move your chair a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Alright.
Now what I need is a side table.
You can use the chair.
Okay. Aha!
Presto.
Oh, we look like we're in studio, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
They can't tell.
SC Studio. SC London Studio.
Where would be a high-end place for us to open our office one day?
No, we wouldn't look for high-end, we look for the most haunted place to open our HQ or MC here.
Yeah, yeah, I would like that. Okay. Weird, I cannot see the comments. Where are the comments? We are live, right? Are we?
I think so. It's what, 2:30 now?
Yeah, yeah.
1 minute past 2:30?
No, I think we are already live.
Okay.
I just can't see the comments. Where are the comments?
I think just ask someone to type in something and we'll just...
No, I saw comments on the screen just now. I just can't see it here.
Might want to have to... refresh, I think.
Oh, I know why. Hey. That's right. I'm a genius, am I not? See?
You got that? It's all right.
Smart boy.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, messages are coming in. Live. Okay. Me first today. RSVP by Grace is first. Congratulations. Hello CC. Hello Eric. Hello Julian Fernandez. Hi Eugene. Hope you're having fun. Chasing Angmorgos. Wow, do I have stories for you guys.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Jungle Hat stolen by Teko Miss P. Thank you. And Jungle Hat, if you notice, his name appears in green. That's because he is the Supernatural Confessions YouTube channel member. It's a cool swag. It even has an icon beside that. See how lao jiao he is. Okay?
Wow.
Elvin Ong, TJIF. Wow, we have Mavis Stay. Screen freeze. I think it should be okay now. You need to off your speaker. Already done that. That's because, wow, got eye candy. Oh, thank you. Aww. They mean me, right?
Of course you, man.
Oh, sure.
Can't be me.
Nick Hellboy, there are a lot of trolls in London. Well, there's a lot of trolls on the internet too. Good evening, everyone. Kevin C. Tok Kyong, fresh haircut. Yes, I got a haircut before coming here. I was told by my mom that I look like a hobo.
You should have just kept it. We go to Highgate Cemetery. Say, hey, the hobo guy.
I sit there with my brown bag and my rum.
Yeah.
Okay. Got in fish and chip. Oh, so English.
Yeah, of course.
Alright.
Best.
Anyway, I want to tell you guys that today's episode was not brought to you by Villain's Rum. However, I do personally recommend Villain's Rum because I've tried it and I fell in love so much with it. And I'm about to actually go and order some more.
Okay.
I bought one bottle back.
All right.
And it has fairy dust inside.
Fairy dust.
Yeah, so
From
apparently,
Faithful.
according to the ladies at the store, it's only 20 bottles that they have made. Because this was early days when they were experimenting with it. And amongst themselves, they felt it was the best cask.
Okay.
And they've only one left on display. And they have a certificate. And I'm a sucker for such things. So
Wow.
I bought it. Yeah. And because that particular bottle has a story as well. Since we're on this, it's a bit of intro just to shoot the breeze. You know, back in the early days, when photographs was first invented, Kodak was the big name in it.
Yep.
Right? So there were two girls who went to the garden to play with fairies.
Oh, okay. I see what
So
this is
remember the
going.
one?
Yes.
The black and white one, the two girls with fairies. So the photograph, they took a photograph, it was spread all over the country like wildfire. They got professors, investigators coming down, and even Kodak themselves came down to validate the authenticity of the...
That particular picture itself, yeah.
All the experts say it was true. It's a big news. When you go and check this on the internet, it's true. That happened actually around York area.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I didn't think
And
it was
only
over there.
many years later, many years when digital photography was a big thing, they went back to look at the picture again, and they found there's actually a thread hanging all the fairies. But the two sisters, till the day they died, that's just how long it was, they have already passed away, have insisted that, yes, although people were saying that threads is not real, they stayed true to their story till the day they died. They said it's real, that's what happened.
Oh, wow.
So is it true, or is it people who really want to debunk the experience just deliberately put a thread inside and claim it to be fake?
Jeez, yeah. Hard to say. I mean, without the actual pictures, very hard to say.
Yeah, or the actual negatives, right? Back then.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's have a drink before we start the show.
Yep.
I know you're not a big fan of the rum, but this goes very well without mixers. If you need mixers, you can have the water there, but I will judge you, just know that.
Okay. No worries. We're pirates today, so.
Ooh. Hui cheer.
Pretty good.
Am I drunk already? No, but with Scott, he's been making me drink every day. And it's not just one pint. We pub hop and we drink like pints after pints
Yeah, it's
after
been
pints.
about 4 pints already?
I don't know, per day, more like it. 4 pints per day.
4 pints per hour.
But to be fair, beer is cheaper than beer back home. So if I don't drink it here, I feel a bit remiss.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of variety here too, so that's the other thing.
Okay, not very audible, is it? Sorry, I just want to do a mic check. Is it okay? Is my mic okay? I'm using my Bluetooth DJI Mic 2, which is supposed to be top of the range. Ken? I give 10 seconds because there's a bit of a lag. Let me know. If all is okay, I'm going to start the show proper.
Okay.
Hear you guys well.
Awesome.
Okay, welcome to Friday Night Live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, the Prince of Paranormal, along with my trusty sidekick / co-host here all the way from London. He is Scott. Scott has also been on Friday Night Live before as one of our confessors, talking about This was in March, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about graveyards back then.
Bugheads.
The Bugheads,
Yeah.
which he nearly encountered on this trip. Almost when I had to stop him there.
So there are a few things that I want to share with you guys. So today's Friday Night Live episode is to share some of the stories that people have told us, some stories that we have collected on this trip. And if you get to see Friday Night Live now, you know that I actually went to York first, and then I got to London. In a final production, it might be the other way around, only because it fits the narrative slightly better. But oh my God, there's so many stories there. There's videos that I have.
Yep.
I have. Do you have your phone with you?
I do.
Okay.
Do you want to show it right now?
I think like right off the bat, should we just tease them what to expect?
Can do. Can
Okay.
do. Let me just find it. What the hell is the thing? Do you want to turn the volume up for that one?
Turn the volume up.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second.
Yeah. To the camera. The look is Spencer. Friends are outside. It's polluting the noise. But I swear I heard 3 knocks coming from the wall. Mr. Mon. Oh! Whoa! What the fuck? Whoa!
My phone is going down. I'm so sorry. I have one hand and I'm trying to stretch it out.
Okay.
That is your very shaky teaser, but yeah, once you see the full
Can't
clip.
see. They say they can't see. One more time.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, you put the mic beside it.
Let me just let's get the lag in and then I will do it. Right.
The knock is Spencer. Vans are outside. It's polluting the noise. But I swear I heard 3 knocks coming from the walls. Mr. Mon. Oh! Whoa! What the fuck?
All right. It's gonna be really hard to see though.
It's okay, it's a teaser.
It's a teaser. It's a teaser.
I ran away.
That's called doing a Eugene.
I ran away. Okay, so yeah, we'll start off the bat. That is something that has happened. And leading up to that was quite interesting as well. Now, just to give you a cliff notes on this particular incident, I stayed at the most haunted hotel. Not just in England, but it's a haunted hotel in the whole of Europe, with no less than 15 resident spirits.
Yep, that's right.
Investigators have gone down, paranormal shows have gone down, and almost each time they managed to record evidence of haunting. Now, I stayed there for 3 nights. First 2 nights, nothing happened.
Until
The third night, I deliberately called them out. I invited them to come out. I called their names. And then, usually for investigation work like this, if you're unlucky, which is like maybe 99 out of 100 times, or 90 out of 100 times, you really don't get any evidence. At best, you might get a knock or 2. Maybe a cold spot, a sudden breeze when there's nothing that should be there, but nothing quantifiable, nothing that you could record. And you walk away telling people, yeah, I think it's haunted, but everyone on the screen is like, yeah, okay, good for you. Right? Then maybe another 5%, you might actually have a slight poltergeist activity, like a door opening, and that's it, one time. But for this particular incident, or even though if something moved at one time, it might not be in the first hour, second hour, even the third hour where you're doing your investigation.
you might just dismiss it as well as like, it's probably nothing really.
Yeah. But in this case, within the first 15 minutes, half an hour perhaps of, sorry, to be fair, if I want to be very fair to the spirits, an hour into the investigation. Because I had moments where I was hunkering down at different spots in the place, just getting ambient noise, trying to get EVP. So that took about 45 minutes, and then 15 minutes into this, I called out the name of the spirit, the man that's supposed to have died there.
The Canadian airman.
The Canadian airman, yeah.
There you go.
Jeff Monroe. Called out to him, and I was a bit annoyed with the vehicle downstairs because I'm at the hotel. I'm living opposite Marks and Spencer.
Oh, right.
So by the time I was doing this portion of my investigation, it was about 3:45. A big truck came in, and he left the engine on, so you can hear. And I'm a bit annoyed because I want to, if there's a whisper or a voice, I want to catch it. So if I have this engine running outside, it contaminates my audio recording.
Yep.
So I sat there feeling a bit grumpy and annoyed, and I said, Mr. Monroe, why don't you show yourself and do something? And if you all see why I'm seated in that position, it's because I spoke to the cleaner of the place, the proprietor of the place, and he said the door of the cupboard is known to open and close on its own. So as I sat there, talking to it, I didn't expect it to be that fast, That's why I was caught off guard. I hear, I'm like, whoa. I'm like looking again. So at that point of time, when I was turning around to look at it, I was like, okay, is it, all the rational thought goes to my head. Like, immediately, of course, I want to assume it's the hantu.
Yeah.
But assuming the hantu off the bat like that makes me shit my pants, right? So it's like, okay, is it gravity? Is it this? Is it that? Is it because of the truck downstairs having the engine on, the vibration on the ground caused a bit of tremor, and therefore, right? Very logical, very plausible.
Yep.
Right? And then the door slammed shut.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's very hard to make, because if it was slightly ajar and the wind blew it open, and if it doesn't close, yeah, fine, you can dismiss it as that. But for it to just close where the air is still, and with that force, that's something there for sure.
And after that, after finding my testicles, I came back. I took up the camera and I got close up to the cupboard because I felt that that's where the spirit wanted to make connection. So I set up my equipment, my devices, everything, and I sat in front of the cupboard and I tried the door myself. Even if it was wind, it's very, very stiff. And it opens with a creak, closes with a creak, opens with a creak, closes with a creak. As I was closing, I think maybe by third time, I heard a loud bang and clanging sound coming from the toilet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. By now, not so spooked out. Like, I am still jumpy because it's a quiet of night, and I am calling for spirits to come out, and they are responding. But you'll find that in the video footage, that's not shown this one, but when I finish it and post it up, I was actually laughing because I'm excited. I am feeling like, oh my god, like a kid in a candy store. Like, you ask for something and now you're getting it. So there is a sense of fear.
Yep.
But it's like, wow, I want to go and check it out. So I took my camera again. I went to check it out in the toilet. The soap dish had fallen off a wooden panel into the
bathtub itself.
bathtub.
Okay. Wow.
And it's heavy,
How? I mean, it's like solid wood, kind of like
brass.
Oh, okay, that's
Brass soap dish on a wooden plank.
Jeez.
And it was as if someone pushed it and it just
Flipped over, right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah. That's...
So I sat there with my camera again and I told the spirits, okay, like, can you knock the shampoo bottle? Can you knock the other bottle? Like, come on, do this.
And did they respond?
No, they didn't. I guess maybe they were, being like, why should I do it just because you asked, right? So after a while, I just went back to the room again and I found the cupboard door wide open.
Oh, jeez. Gosh.
Now, when I was testing the door, opening and closing, you could hear the very clear, very distinct.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
No.
Jeez.
And it's by now it's about 4:15 already. So it's total silence.
Oh, God. Wait, 4:15 in the morning, right?
AM.
Jeez, man.
So you would hear nothing. And so I say, okay, one of the hauntings was that people who slept there in that room would have be rudely awoken by a man or an apparition dressed entirely in military uniform,
Yep.
standing over them.
Yeah, that was one of the reports that they have mentioned for that particular room. What's the room called again? The Minster? Minster room.
Minster suite, yeah, on the top floor of that particular hotel. I went to sleep around 4:35. I went to bed hoping for the thing to come. So I set up on my camera. No, I think maybe if it did, I didn't see it.
Probably.
I fell asleep.
I think you should count yourself lucky you didn't see the little kid ghost. I think you would have shat your pants and probably jumped out the window at the same time.
There were 15 different ghosts there, right? Can you
Yes.
remember, like...
So what I can remember from the top is the Canadian Airman, which is in your room. I think you'll have to excuse my memory. So I think it's Lady Packet who the inn was built for. They have a room for her. And then you've got the cellar where they have seen Roman ghosts marching through the cellar. You also have a grumpy old man at the bar. There is also a, they call him One-Eyed Jack, and he apparently wears a red cloak with a flintlock pistol. So if you look at stuff like Pirates of the Caribbean, or a better description or depiction of him is if you watch Peter Pan from Disney, that red cloak with that flintlock on his side, yeah, that's probably what he looks like. I think the most tragic, well, there are a lot of tragic ones, but I think the worst one, in my personal opinion, is the ghost of the kid, because he was actually trampled on, by a horse and carriage outside the inn itself. So, and his spirit is still there, like playing around, poking and pulling people's pants and whatnot.
Also, in that very same hotel, they have a good old-fashioned, for real, human skull.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I heard about that.
There's an execution, there's a victim of an execution, and they brought it in. The minute they brought it in, there were trouble from the get-go. When they put it at the bar, previously it was like all the drinks, then they put it at the bar. People were disturbed.
Yeah.
And so they eventually moved it outside to the other bar, but they put it inside a box with like chain.
And then with the plaque down there saying this is what and what.
Yeah.
But I think one thing about that particular inn is that when executions happened in New York, they used to bring the bodies of the criminals to the Golden Fleece and place them in the cellar, because there was no morgue then, so that was the only place to put the bodies. And you think about it, it's in the shambles, and the shambles used to be medieval, butcher area where they, you have blood from the animals going into the streets, and all that kind of like really gory, nasty stuff. It's not, well, a butcher shop isn't really negative, but if you add that to
The
the
taking
events,
of life, the slaughtering, the blood, the pure aggression.
it kind of adds up to it altogether.
There's this interesting thing that Hon Kit Chang said. Need to speak in Old English with these and thous with this English goes. So like, show thyself, Sir Geoffrey of Monroe,
Nice.
thy who has died not in vain, please present thyself in my very chambers. Is that it?
I suppose, but I couldn't say anything like that. I mean, I'm more Scottish than that.
Oh, yeah. See, when you bring me over to Scotland, you can do your Scottish accent.
You kind of asked me to do it all at one time.
You know, the thing is, when I try to do Scottish accent, I swear it sounds like Indian man trying to. It's like, I like Scotland because for very shallow reasons. I like Scotland because I love the movie Braveheart.
Oh, right.
And I grew up with Braveheart, and I watched it so many times. And when I was growing up, I would fancy just reading out the script based on memory. And for the longest time, I always thought I sounded like William Wallace.
Until someone told me
It's like,
otherwise.
yeah, you live and you die. Dying in your bed 10 years from now, asking yourself, you just get one chance to come back here to tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but not our freedom. And then my Indian friend says, you sound like my people. I was like, I don't sound like Indian, I sound Scottish. No, you sound very much like my people. Shit. So I got an Indian Scottish accent going on, man.
Which, I mean, speaking of William Wallace, we are going to his execution site to film. So
Quad and drawn.
hung, drawn, and quartered. I think, well, it's very gruesome unless people wanted me to tell the details. By all means, yeah.
Is there a ghost of William Wallace there?
Urban
legend-wise?
Not his ghost is not supposed to be. There's apparently a ruined castle in Scotland that has rumored to have his ghost there. But there is a ruined abbey in Scotland where his arm was buried. So hung, drawn, and quartered, basically, as it states.
Yeah.
You are hung by the neck until you're about to die from suffocation, released, and then you are stretched out on a board. And what they do from there is they start dissecting you alive. So they will cut you from stern to your groin. They will first take your innards and sort of like roll it like a spaghetti and put it over a roasting fire right in front of you. So imagine you're still alive.
Fried kway chap.
You are having the searing pain of being cut open, the air rushing into you, and your own internal organs being burned while you're alive. So that's the amount of pain. And then as it goes, they slowly take bits and pieces out of you. And towards the end, you are most likely beheaded and then cut into quarters, and then your parts will be sent to, different parts of, in terms of Scotland, different parts of Scotland.
To warn the enemies about what would happen to you.
Exactly. And his head was placed on London Bridge. So if anybody's has a Netflix account, when you watch Outlaw King, you can see what I mean by hung, drawn, and quartered. So you'll see a part of his body being put in the square, and his head will be on London Bridge, which will be seen as, Longshanks. Edward I comes out from the castle
Edward
itself.
Longshanks.
Yeah.
And his other friend, Edward the Bruce.
No, Robert the Bruce.
Robert the Bruce.
Yes.
That betrayed him.
No, it wasn't actually. That was just fictional.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't Robert the Bruce. It was two of his other associates who betrayed him.
The old man, right? In the movie lah.
I mean, in the fictional point, that one.
I don't know, man. I got all my history lesson from that show. Did they paint your face blue?
No. Okay, so the Braveheart is actually very historically inaccurate. So the blue paint comes from the Picts, which they were there from the Roman times. So they will paint their face blue. They will go into war blue, probably naked as well. But the kilts didn't come into the Scottish thing until maybe 15.
So they didn't do the whole lift up the kilt thing at the
No,
end?
that was later on when you have like the Highlanders, the famous Highlanders. That's when the kilt came. So 1500 onwards is where the kilt came in.
So I got people asking, CL is asking, can both of you guys wear kilt? I can.
Yeah, I can. I've done it before. I've gone hiking with a kilt before.
Depends on how much you donate to the channel. I might even take the inside off.
I'll dress him up proper. You don't have to worry about it. Just dress him up proper with me.
I'll watch after the live lah. Maybe it will sound better. Okay, I don't know. Again, this is the best I think I can have for the audio. I'm not sure how much better I can have it. Is it okay? Are you guys hearing us well enough? If it's okay, then we can go on a bit longer. If it's not, then I'll try to just end this off quickly. So stories. We have some stories that you shared with me in London.
Yeah, quite a fair bit actually. I don't know where to start actually.
I think we can start off with what happened today with the museum that we went to.
Museum that we went to.
Docklands.
Right.
Because, okay, so just a bit, flashback a little bit. London is huge. And you chose, for me specifically, East London because you felt that was the most underrepresented in terms of stories, legends. It's not really online. Right? Maybe you start off with yesterday, the places that you showed me and some of the stories that you have.
Right. So yesterday I took Eugene around Greenwich area. So we walked from Canary Wharf, which is a financial district, all the way towards Greenwich. So what we did was we went past a couple of haunted pubs, which had smugglers' dens, and what they call a priest-hole is where they used to hide the priest. Oh, thank you. Because during Henry VIII's time, when he decided to become, make the Church of England Protestant, and he becomes the Pope, so the head of the church in England. So Catholics were persecuted, and these priest holes were where people used to hide the priests. And sometimes they would have secret tunnels that leads out to a monastery or away from a monastery. So that's what a priest hole is. Moving from those particular pubs, we went over to a haunted Victorian tunnel, which is a tunnel connecting the Isle of Dogs towards Greenwich. So the story about that particular area is there was a guy who was walking in the tunnel one night. And all of a sudden he sees two people dressed in Victorian clothing. So a guy with a top hat, and a nice suit and jacket, and a lady in a very Victorian gown. So he goes and assumes that, these guys are probably reenactors, or they're coming up from fancy ball party and stuff like that. And he walks, they actually greet him. They say, "Oh, good evening." And he says, "Good evening" back. But as he turns around to look at them as they go away, they're not there. And that's the tunnel we actually were at. And describe to them how you felt in that tunnel.
So to get down to the tunnel, because it's under the River Thames.
It's right under the River
So
Thames.
you got to walk down a long spiral staircase that smells musky because it's damp air, I suppose, below, and people pee at that corner. Some people smoke weed. So the minute you walk into that entire place, it really gives you a very unnerving feeling because from outside, fresh air, you step into this chamber.
Yeah.
And when you speak, you could hear the echoes. And just going down, and you don't even know how far down it goes. It's just, it's under the river. And in fact, we met a lady there who says, how many more steps do I have?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because she's been walking around and around. And we were doing this about 11 p.m. already.
Yeah, around 11
If I
p.m.
were alone, it does give me a sense that I am never going to reach the ground. It's like every corner you walk, you turn down, it's just no ending.
Yep.
Right? You don't know how far up, you don't know how far down. So you just keep walking. And finally, when you reach that long tunnel, you can't even see the end.
It's
of
really
the
hard.
tunnel.
Like you think you see someone in front of you, and it could very well be, but it's only like, it looks like a shadow right there because it's just that far down the tunnel.
Yeah. And what really gave me the creeps about that particular tunnel is that because the deeper you go under the sea, you get this cold spot.
Yep.
I would walk down, because it slopes down at first, and then suddenly it feels like I stepped into a cold spot.
Yep.
So yes, part of your mind, you know that it's so far down underground, the water is above you, it's going to be cold.
Yep.
But on the other hand, if you're doing this at midnight, there's no one in front, no one behind, or maybe even worse, there's one person in front. That's just walking funny and smiling.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's horrible.
And then you walk to a cold spot. You don't know where you're going to go. You want to go in front, you're going to be behind. Like, where are you going to escape? You can't escape. And that sense of being trapped, that's when the true vulnerability happens. And then all it takes is just your mind to see any shadow and go off tangent. And I'm not saying that the place doesn't have any spiritual action, because on Supernatural Confessions Friday Night Live, I always talk about water body being a conduit of spirits and entity and energy. And now you are in a space surrounded by water where the sun literally don't shine.
At all.
And it's been there, 200 years, you mentioned?
Yeah, 200 plus years. So
If I was a spirit, that's where I'm going to go and hang out.
you know what's going to make it worse? I'm gonna just interject one thing. You mentioned about like some person with a creepy smile smiling and walking towards you.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were singing "London Bridge is Falling Down."
There's a man, a neighbor who I met. His name is Malcolm Miles. His wife is Carol. Beautiful couple, elderly, retired, sold off their pub, and now they're going for traveling. And they said, "Oh, UK is so big. I've not seen UK. I don't even need to go out of UK to see the world, because my own country, I've not finished seeing it." So they took 2 years on the reserve list to be at the hotel, Golden Fleece, where I stayed.
Oh, geez, yeah, that's quite a long time.
I was on the third floor, the Minster Suite. He was on the second floor. So he said, on the second night when he was there, he was in bed, and it was a large room, because all hotels are long.
Yeah.
Pretty much like the Peranakan houses in Malaysia or Singapore. It's more longish than it is wide. So his bedroom has like a living room inside. So his bed, and then there's a distance, then a couch, coffee table, a bit of distance, and then curtains, and there's a window. So there's that length in front of you. He said on the first night in his dream, he saw a jester-like character, big green, jester hat,
jeez.
bells, in striped costume, like a jester would.
God,
From the window, behind the curtain, towards him, up the coffee table, down the coffee table, up the couch,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
squatted there on the couch, looking at him, smiling.
Jeez.
And I asked him, how do you feel? He says, oh, I felt curious. And in front of him, at his bed, a midget popped up, looked at him, and then turned, ran towards the wall, and disappeared into a wooden panel, into the wall. So when he told me that, and I knew about the history because I have researched on it, and he didn't really bother doing research. He's just like, yeah, I want to come because my wife wants to come here. It's the wife wants to come here thing, right? In his room, there was actually a secret door that they found during the renovation
Really?
at the spot where the thing disappeared. So when I asked him, I said, I mean, it's a dream. I mean, he said it's a dream. Something is real, but it's very scary. And I asked him, I said, would you think of such a thing? Have you ever had a dream like that before? He says, no. And one thing that he cannot explain is, in his dream, he saw the curtain was down.
Yeah.
And he did not touch the curtain at all because it was nicely hung up on both sides.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you get nice drape. There was no need to close the curtain. But when he woke up, the curtains were closed on his own.
Oh.
He insisted it's his wife.
Yeah, I mean...
His wife insisted it wasn't her.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. So when he told me the story, I imagined that.
Oh,
thing. So if I were to look down a tunnel, and I see that jester thing moving towards me,
well,
I would probably kick the bucket in the face. Human or not, I don't care.
you might want to grab one of the bikes they left in the town and just run him over.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that tunnel, people who have claustrophobia would not like a tunnel at all.
Yeah, I don't think they will like the tunnel. Then going forth from that, I brought Eugene around the old Royal Naval Academy.
Yeah.
So this academy does have a couple of ghost stories. Fun fact, for those who like Marvel and Pirates of the Caribbean, the Royal Naval Academy is where they filmed the second movie for Thor. You'll see it with that spaceship going across the middle. And it's also, I think, one of the Pirates, the last few Pirates of the Caribbean, I can't remember which one it is. They filmed it in the Painted Gallery, which is, I have a feeling it's haunted, but it's difficult to get access to it. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for that one. That, and we've gone over to the Queen's house, where there's the famous ghost picture of that ghost on the stairwell. You can actually Google it, just Google Queen's house ghost Greenwich. You'll see a picture of that particular ghost climbing its way up this, the tulip staircase, which is what it's called. And then we ended at the oldest pie shop in Greenwich, which is about from the 1800s. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting night. And I took Eugene to my old haunted place as well. How did you find that particular haunting? I told you. So just to recap on the story.
Tell the story again. Yeah.
This is from the last FNL that we did with Eugene back then. So the story is that I was in architecture. I did a survey of Dover, and I came back one evening, soaked and wet, when, shower change, went to sleep. But then I heard a female voice calling me. Like when I was in between sleep, I heard someone calling me, like a female voice calling. And I thought it was my friend who was just right next door. So it happened once. I was like, yeah, it must be a dream. Second time, okay, I'm still probably dreaming. Third time, yeah, this is probably a prank. So I got up, I went to my friend's room. Yeah. And he's a pretty big sized guy, and he snores quite loudly. So I slowly opened the door, and he's dead asleep. He is not moving. And I know when he sleeps, he really sleeps. Yeah. So I closed his door slowly again. I go back to sleep. The fourth time I heard my name this time, I had my hair stood up on my back, cold sweat, and where I'm looking at you right now. This is where the window is from my bed. So I got down. I thought, you know what? There's the 3-4 things you do before a ghost. Go up in a very aggressive pose, rip the curtains open, pitch black outside. But as I looked down, there was a white fox running away.
White fox.
I think it was white, if I remember, because it was
spirit fox.
Yeah, so it could be like a fox spirit. I was like, oh, damn. So I brought Eugene back to that location that night, and lo and behold, who visited us that day?
Who?
That night? The fox.
Oh, but
Do you
it's not
remember
a
that?
white fox.
It wasn't a white fox, but it was weird enough because the fox. We were looking at it from a distance.
Yeah.
As it went behind a trash can, it kind of disappeared, and out popped the cat.
Yeah.
And as we looked down the other side, it looked like it was very ethereal. It disappeared, came back out again. It's like, okay, so probably is.
Your home, the area around your home itself. So the home that you showed me was like a 3-4 story townhouse.
Yeah, no, it's like a flat, right? It's built based on the area because it used to be a brick factory nearby.
Yes.
So everything has been used, red bricks and everything else.
See where I find the location is scary compared to what we have in Asia or Singapore, even Malaysia. Maybe Malaysia, I understand. Kampong in the middle of the forest is going to be scary. But most of us grew up in extreme crowded places. We're very used to hearing our neighbor going to take a piss. If someone farts next door, you can hear.
Yeah.
But in the place where you brought me, it's surrounded by forests, dark, mystic, facing the water body.
Yep.
And there's that ominous looking brick tower
Right,
in
yeah.
the distance.
From the kiln.
The typical London skyline is like slightly dark and gloomy but not entirely black. So this structures really stands out against the darkness.
Yep.
And when you pointed to that place and said that's your house, the room was dim with a bit of a glow, and then there's a curtain there which gives me the image that someone's standing there watching us.
Oh, really? Oh, jeez.
So, and I was thinking, if I have a haunting here, where am I going to go? Which hell am I going to get?
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, that seems to be the issue. But I do not know whether my eyes played trick on me or not. But today itself, there were a few occasions that I think you had an experience. I had somewhat of an experience as well, different places. What I did not tell the museum lady who brought us around is that when I first stepped into the museum exhibit area, I was filming, right? So I couldn't see, I was not looking at the room, I was looking through the lens of my phone. And I was like, oh, very nice exhibit, very good, very crowded. Then I looked up, I saw nobody, just us.
Oh, jeez.
Then I looked back down again, and I did not mention anything to her because I know she's the PR person of the company, the museum. And the last thing I want to do is get our ass kicked out of the museum by insinuating the museum is haunted, even though we and she knows it is. So we're walking around, and then I realized, why it might potentially be crowded. There were items that belonged to people who were murdered.
Yep, that's right.
Right? There's a ball and chain, there were just knives.
Daggers, knives, hacked off like shotgun barrel or something like that. Yeah.
So when you keep such artifacts all in one place, you are sort of bringing the energy of its previous owners or the victim to the location.
Exactly.
In the very last room that we were at, there was a signage that says something about energy.
Oh, I've got it on my phone. Bear with me a second. Meh. Oh, shit. I would just close my eyes and I swear I could feel the energy of the people that had lived on the river, worked on the river.
Yeah.
Mark Iglesias, Vasco.
So if Belinda was there, or any one of you with the third eye or a bit of psychic ability, you go there, you hold the items, it will have an imprint. Because these items are found in the river Thames. Water, old land.
Yep.
And what the creator said was very nicely preserved. And we even had some items from a BC era.
Yep.
So this tells you how old and how amazing this place is that they are able to find things in the BC. So when I sat there at the end of it all, I don't know whether unlikely I will show this video to mainstream audience on the show, but I'm going to share this with you guys right now. I went there and I asked permission. I said, can I meditate? Can I sit there and try to communicate? And the nice lady said, sure, go ahead. And the reason I'm not putting this online because I do not want people to feel, oh my God, Eugene, you're being so disrespectful, commenting into the date over there. This is a museum, it's a place for education. Don't do something like that. You will get such comments. So I want to share it with my viewers right now on Friday Night Live because they would appreciate it. So I sat there, I had my eyes closed, and I think you were filming.
Yes.
And my topmost thought at that point in time was, are there any spirits here that want to communicate? You know, pass me a message for me to pass to the curator, just let me know, I will deliver this message. And in my expectation, I thought it would just be like a random ghost who, oh, I've been killed and that was my eyeball and they found, you know, whatever, right? You know,
Yeah.
something just very vanilla and plain. But what I felt came to me was a sentient entity, almost like a guardian, like the energy of a god. And I identified the energy as probably the guardian of the river, maybe even Father Thames itself.
Yeah.
And it came to me almost obligingly and very warm and cordial. It said, all things that have been lost and forgotten can be found in my realm. I have no fucking clue what that means because I mean, it's not something I'm familiar with, so I know that's not something I made shit up in my head. It's so far from what I was expecting to encounter. And this was nowhere near my realm of surface thoughts or subconscious. So when I hear that and I got this message, I knew where it was coming from. This was not me making it up. It was me getting a message. And he says that from time to time, the two worlds will bleed and items from his realm, when it's too full, will be spit out into the River Thames.
Oh, wow.
So when we find all those items that is in the BC, if you're going with the very rational thought, Scott, is that item has been there on the riverbed since that time.
Yep.
The other alternate idea is the item was somewhere else, and due to the movement of the water, the high tide and low tide, it was dragged from somewhere else and placed there. Both plausible reasons. But when I got the idea that it was an item that sipped out from the other plates, now I begin to see it differently in my vision.
Yep.
The river, the seen and the unseen, things appear.
Yeah, it's sort of like a vortex or portal just goes, that's it.
It spits out these items into the water, into the River Thames, and then it gets washed there. And you will find things from different timelines.
Yeah, like when we were there, we saw everything from, well, ancient Britain all the way up to the Romans and the Vikings as well. We had so many Viking artifacts over there. Medieval period, the Victorian period, so many periods, you know, timelines that everything was there.
Then, so after hearing all that, and the other word that I got in that moment where I was channeling the energy was that the river is a river of memories. I don't know what to make of it. I'm throwing this out there, so if any of you who are from this part of the world can correlate that with something else, please let me know. Memories of the world, like what does that even mean to you? If you were to try to hypothesize that, what would you understand?
I would say it's like, well, you could say the waterway or the riverway of any major city is like a historical library of debris. So anything that gets thrown in accidentally or intentionally gets swallowed up, but then is in time, you know, based on people's activity or erosion, it comes back up to the surface again. So if you guys want to go mudlarking in Singapore rivers, oh well, you got to ask your government first before doing that. Otherwise, you might be fined. I know you guys get pretty heavily fined as well. So
mudlark, M-U-D-L-A-R-K, is a term for people who goes down to the riverbank of Thames and pick what they can find trapped in the mud during low tide. I think our Singapore river, I cannot find any of that.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You never know.
I never know. Okay,
You
lah.
never know.
I'll start mud lucking at the Pasir Ris mangrove swamp. Because at least it traps from the sea, it brings stuff in. It traps in the roots.
Oh, you know what they say about your sea area? You might find like a bottle with a talisman inside.
I was gonna go up to my occult library.
Ah.
Yeah. And then I think what was poignant to me also at the end of the tour, one of the other lady, is it Iona? I think Iona.
Iona, yeah.
No, is it? Yeah, she said, if you understand ley lines,
Yes, the ley line she did
it
mention
crosses
about
right through from God knows where,
that. Mud shoot towards the church in Whitechapel or something.
cutting through the museum.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and that's also where a lot of the hauntings actually take place. So if we just follow the ley lines, and this is not Eugene Tay making shit up, it's out there in the books, right?
Yeah.
Almost
There's actually like a plaque or something around item on the floor.
Yeah,
She mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah.
So places surrounding ley lines tend to have more spiritual activity. Actually, the cutest story of all today was the hantu chicken.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember the story?
I remember.
I can't do justice to how Andrew tells it.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell the story. I did remember that, but I couldn't recommend it to Eugene because it was just so weird and bizarre. I was like, why would he go there to find a park with a haunted chicken?
Haunted chicken. A pub
a headless haunted chicken.
in England, I've seen it all, man. I mean, headless haunted chicken is one. Just to give you guys the backstory, there was a man,
He's a doctor or a scientist, one of the
doctor or
other. Yeah.
scientist, who wanted to experiment with a chicken, trying to preserve death or try to preserve life or to resurrect the chicken. And so Mary Shelley Frankenstein. Right?
Very.
But he does it on a chicken on a cold winter's night where he was pulling out the innards of the chicken and he was trying to stuff it back with snow and all that. And how Andrew tells it, it's really clips English accent. And how did the guy die? He died, right?
Ironically, he died of pneumonia.
Pneumonia,
because
because it was a cold winter's night. He was trying to get his experiment to work, and I suppose he's a poor scientist. No one believed him. He's the outcast, but he totally believed in his own project. So he tried to animate the chicken, but it was so cold he got pneumonia and he died. And that part is true as well because the person did exist.
Yeah.
The person who conducted the experiment on the chicken, that whole story was real. So after he died, no one continued with his experiment. But since then, people have said they have seen a headless chicken roaming around that park. Till today. In the snow.
In the snow, in the spring, the summer, on the fall.
Yeah. And Andrew looked at us with this deadpan look like, bro, there's no kidding, man. Bro, this is serious shit, man.
Yeah, he did have that look, yeah.
And then after that, I think right after that, which is a pity, but also one of the best experience I had was a 45 minutes walkthrough in a pub that you've frequented when you were much younger. You've not been back there for 20 years.
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah.
And, I want to give a shout out to Justin, who was the main man walking us through the entire place. And he thought, from my experience with the other bartenders, they're working, they're busy. But English people are very polite. They don't just fuck you and
quite
flip
friendly,
you off.
yeah.
They actually do give you at least a minute of their time and give you an anecdote. So when I was in York, every bar, every tavern I go to, I would ask for a ghost story. And they would oblige. But if you tell them, can I video you, can I put a mic on you, sometimes they get turned off.
Yeah.
They like their privacy. They don't want to have the phone trusted in their face. So there were some tables that I just got a story, I didn't get to record. Some tables I get to record, but I did not have time to plug in the mic and then can I mic you up, please? No, it's I'm going to tell you now, either you're ready or you're not.
Yeah.
So that was New York. So when I came here, I expected Justin to just give me this place is haunted because it's built in 1700s.
No, 1500s, but earlier as well.
Yeah, it's here since the 1500s. And over there will be a lady in white, full stop. Right? But he goes okay.
Let me take my time and tell
put
you
down his
everything.
towel, put down everything. Let me start from here. I'm like, wow. Right?
And we got the full Monty, the full tour of the place, and it was so awesome.
Which of his story resonated closest to you?
Which part? Mm, I think personally, I like the one where I think it was the mirror thing and the jazz bar. That one was, I mean, when we sat down after that, that was just
We sat at the drink like
creepy.
in that. We were the only two patrons
The only
there.
two guys there, yeah. It was like, God, it's like,
Okay.
it was just that creepy.
So let me give you guys the lowdown on that. Before that, let me answer some questions. Super interesting stuff. Said Maya, are you allowed to say what museum it was? Yes, it's the Museum of Dockland. Dockland is a museum. It's a dock. A long time ago.
Yeah, so London Museum in Docklands. So it is what the Docklands Museum is basically a museum that curates all the artifacts and history of the Docklands, or Isle of Dogs. And just for fun fact, Isle of Dogs is a very old peninsula on the Thames. It used to be the royal canals for hunting dogs for the monarchs, and then after that it became the warehouse for the British Empire, where spices, goods, and everything coming out from the empires, from the colonies. That's where it was first stopped, and before it was distributed throughout the island.
So that's Dockland. And in front, across the river, all the new sky.
Yep, the financial
Right.
district.
And behind it is. Singaporeans may recognize this place very much to look like Raffles Place. You come out, you see all the banks.
Yeah.
Then you see along the river all the old shop house.
What's the name of the place in Raffles? Is it Battery Road, City Hall is?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's the one.
Colo-
Yeah. Raffles Place, yeah.
Raffles
sorry.
Place, Collier Quay, Boat Quay, Clark Quay, even the Robertson Quay area. Yeah, that's how this whole place looks like. Bak Che Che says, I was in London between 11th to 22nd June this year.
Okay.
Had fun, no problem. Even went on spooky London Bridge tour. Not scary, but the deep train stations, the tubes, made me depressed.
Yeah, they will make you depressed sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Alexandra Deng says, I look 20 years younger.
Wow, the spooks did something for you there.
Haircut. The barber did the job. Well, some say in Brunei also. Interesting stuff. Hello everyone, Nicholas says. Hi Scott, Nicholas says.
Bonjour. Bonsoir.
Oh, nice. In London. Hello, Eugene and Grace. She's not Grace, it's Scott. Scott.
Huh?
Do you look like a Grace?
I don't know, it must be a spirit right in front of me.
The Ripper site is no longer a street. Okay, so someone asked me just now, am I going on the Ripper tour? I've been on a Ripper tour twice before. The difference now is Scott managed to help me get a meeting with a tour guide from the Ripper tour. And I'm wondering if if the guys have ghost stories. The Ripper tour itself, the content, I love it. It's just that London is so modern now. You don't get the 1800s Victorian London feel anymore. But if you can imagine, and the storyteller is good,
Well,
you can picture it.
despite saying that, this is again coming to East London. If you experience East London at night, you can imagine how incredibly you feel a sense of unease there. And this is the atmosphere, the lighting and the dark corners of East London.
Yeah.
So, just to give you a bit of historical context,
Yeah.
East London used to be the slums area,
Yeah.
kind of still is sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's developed a lot, especially from the 2012 Olympics when they had it over here. So they developed the whole area. But there are parts like Whitechapel where you go at night, especially when the old churches that you walk by,
Yeah.
you can feel a sense of how it was during that time, during the Rippers' age, and maybe even before that. It's just very unnerving. You feel a sense of unease, unsafe kind of thing. It's just there. It's when you look at Sherlock Holmes, the movie, or if you watch From Hell, that is exactly what depicts it, and that is exactly what it is. It still feels the same way today, but just modern, that's all.
I think if you guys love Europe or old London stories, like I grew up with those stories, you would love the trip that I had today, because I feel like a kid in a toy store. Everything is like, I'm ready for this. No, sorry, go back to the story about the place that we talked about, the room, the jazz room. I was about to get to that before I got distracted to read the thing.
The jazz. Oh, right, yeah, the jazz room.
Someone's asking, is it Museum of Docklands? Yes, it's the Museum of Docklands. The next establishment I'm going to talk about, kudos and props, big props to these people, is the, what?
Sorry, what?
What's the pub called?
Prospect of Whitby.
The Prospect of Whitby.
Also formerly known as the Pelican and nicknamed the Devil's Den.
The Devil's Tavern.
Tavern.
So with names like that, 700-year history, you can expect the place to be rather haunted.
In fact, very haunted.
Right. And if you see the old photos, there's an old photo and new photo. Back then, they had 2 doors on the side, left and right, and in the middle of the entrance, there's a glass panel you can see.
Yep.
The newer version, they've torn down the entire facade and they've changed the door to be in the middle and then 2 glass panels on the side. And ever since they did that, there's a spirit that couldn't walk through the place and was constantly just outside the glass panel looking in. There was an old lady there. And the jazz band that you talked about in the shadow, this was told to us by Justin, who was it's a 2-story pub. There was no one around. He was just at the bar preparing his drinks. Right? He got in and just imagine an old Victorian bar just here, and the area is rather dim. There's like windows at the back, but because it's so stained, even in the broad daylight, lights don't get filtered all the way through. It's still very dim. When we were sitting there, it felt like it was evening, right?
Yeah, it's very dark and gloomy. I mean, this room doesn't do justice.
It's that smoky red room that you'll find at most of these cigar bars.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
It has a kind of vibe.
Plus, imagine the medieval kind of like roof with the the plaster and the woodworks across the beams and everything. That's what it looks like in there.
And there have been people on separate occasions, not knowing each other, came up to the bartender and said, "Hey, there's that guy there sitting there playing double bass, and there's no sound." And it only happened within this year. They had these 2. So he searched back, the bartender, when he searched back about the history of the place, because he's just interested in the history and the story, he found out that there was actually a jazz band. This was during the 1930s, where the band were there, the good woman would be dancing. There was a jazz band with a double bass. How would this guest know?
Yeah.
And to see the guy there, what kind of haunting is this? Is this a residual haunting? Is this the spirit of the musician just cannot leave this place? Which I'll come back to that in a bit, because Justin, who's also a budding paranormal investigator, I asked him for his thoughts on it, and I felt he gave me a very solid answer that I appreciated. Then there's another occasion, he was just doing his work, tallying up the numbers. Oh yeah. The mirror, that's what you were talking about. So he looked up just to rest his eyes, and in the distance in front of him, no more than say 5 meters, there's a mirror on the wall.
To the corner.
Right, the corner. So imagine the perspective, it was like a corner, like 90 degrees. It was on this side. And in the mirror, he saw a reflection of a woman. And when he looked around, because to be that close to the mirror in the reflection, the person would be standing here. And I actually...
We reenacted it.
Reenacted it just to see how it looks like, right? And when he looked at the reflection, he saw someone. He looked to the left, where a person should be. He didn't see anybody at all. And the cute part was, the next thing, he's just, I'm just going back and do my lecture. Then when he looked up again for the next time, this time he didn't see that woman standing by the mirror. He saw a boy wearing overalls with that paperboy hat. Sweeping up the chimney in the fireplace.
That was...
And then he goes, nope. He closed the book and it just went down. No, but that entire area as well, it's not just haunted by the chimney sweep or the lady. There's also the pirate, the hub pirate.
Oh, right, it's supposed to be Captain Kidd who was haunting the place, apparently, so yeah.
So there's so many different stories in one place, so many different ghosts in one place. And now on the comment section, many of you have been talking about 13 Ghosts. I will get to that in a bit as well because I love 13 Ghosts.
Oh, the show, yeah.
I love
it's a good show.
Yeah. At the end of this tour, that Justin brought us around, I asked him one question. I said, based on your personal opinion, like, what do you think these are? Like, what kind of haunting are we dealing with? And he says, yeah, they're not malicious. There is no, I'm haunting you because I need you to pass on a message to my loved one. I got unfinished business. No. They're just there. And whether it's haunting or it's a residual projection of things that has happened before, like the guy with the double bass.
Yep.
I think I've come to a hypothesis that I want to share with you.
Yep.
And this also it ties in with the Docklands lady, that what she talked to me about in terms of ley line, in terms of energy, right? And what Justin said was that with regards to the hauntings, he doesn't feel that these hauntings necessarily need the person to die in the spot in order for the place to be haunted. And the double bass guy, I'm sure he would probably died in his own house, very peacefully. And there have been many occasions where people who have died somewhere else but still appear in another location. And that brought me to the story that I remember, which I shared with Justin as well, was an old sailor who met a love of his life at Mitra Hotel in Singapore. And he, of course, he went sailing and he came back. His love of his life was already probably betrothed to someone else, or was not even around, okay? But he stayed there in Mitra Hotel till the day he died, waiting for the love of his life to come back, which logically we know
it's never going to happen. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking, now that, did he die there? No, he didn't die there in the room because it's not a functioning hotel. So he probably died somewhere else. But there's a saying that his spirit could be seen in a hotel.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, and talking about this tavern, how these spirits are all drawn back to a location, could be when a certain sense of emotion is so strong, it gets tied to a place. And from what I understand in terms of dealing with energy, is love or hatred. And what Justin said was, this was a place, even in the 1500s, where people could gather together, find belonging in a community. So you can imagine that love for the place, and when you die, you come back to a time that makes you happy. Maybe that's some people's idea of heaven.
Yeah.
To a happy space.
It's true though.
And if the happy space is tied to a physical space, could you then not come back to that spot and claim it as your own? And maybe in your own mind, as you're walking as a ghost in that pub, everything appears in 1500s for you, or 1800s, depending on which era you're in.
Yeah, that's true though.
In their mind, in that
they still
world.
feel that they're there. But you know what? Yeah,
and occasionally over time, both sides get glimpses on the other side.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's on the ley line as well.
But you know what this means, right?
What?
This means that you're going to be haunting this digital channel now.
At the Ghost of SC.
Everyone's going to say, oh, we're looking here again. Then 10 years in the future, someone else says, oh, look, all these people here again. But I mean, jokes aside, right? I mean, places where you have good emotions, like whether it be happy or something.
Yeah.
I think you just come back in visitation. There is actually a story in, I think that's near Loch Ness, but there's this particular hostel, or is it cottage, was torn down in the 60s. But here goes the story. I will tell you the story, and this will kind of blow your mind to what it is. So what it is that I think it was in the 60s or the 70s. There was like a community gathering in one of the lodges near Inverness in Loch Ness. And one of the people who this couple moved from London to Inverness to stay in this particular cottage. They went for this gathering and they met this old lady right?
Is that Worley Reactory?
No, that's not Bolly Rectory. Bolly Rectory is in Essex, which is quite a while from us. She goes to this old lady, starts speaking about, oh, my this place. And the old lady tells, oh, I used to live there. And then the couple says, do you know it's haunted? I said, really? Do tell. That's what the old lady says. So they told the old lady that while they were there, one night at the fireplace, as the husband or I can't remember if it's the husband or the wife was coming down to get a drink of water from the top, from top there. At the fireplace itself, they saw a lady in white, hair drooping down this way, looking at the fireplace, and with this kind of like, imagine the fireplace, the mantle was here. So what she was just head bowed down looking at the fireplace, and all of a sudden she starts knocking her head on the fireplace mantle until there was like a blood and mark on there. They got so spooked, she turned around, ran up the stairs, looked behind, and that apparition was gone. But you could see the imprint and the blood stain there. The next morning, it wasn't there. As they were telling the story, when they finished the story, this old lady says, that was me. And she lifts the hair up from her forehead.
Oh.
And you can see the scar right here. Because apparently her husband died in the First World War. Maybe one of the, was it Ypres or the one where the British had a huge loss. I forgot which one it is. I can't remember right now. So she was doing that out of grief, and because of that grief, that imprint was there. And here's the thing: she hadn't passed on then. She was still alive when they asked her about the story. So through what you were saying, that could actually be, that dire sort of like feelings or emotions gets imprinted that even when you're alive. So residual, yeah.
So then that kind of supports this whole idea of our reality being a digital projection.
You could say that, yeah. I mean, the thing is, whatever we do in life, right, it's either going to be good or bad. We're going to experience it. The question is, how great that, I'll put this as the word trauma, because a trauma can be a good trauma or a bad trauma. That imprint will always remain, whether it's a memory or an action being done to a particular area.
Yeah. I want to tell you something, because you mentioned something about someone in the house, so that triggered a memory for me. So as I was going to York, walking around from places to places, because I got a guidebook that told me that talks about all the haunted places in York.
Yeah.
So there's a place called Saint something, I can't remember what it was. It used to be a chapel, and it's not a chapel anymore. And so I walked to location, I was like looking for a chapel-like building, but I realized, hey, it's not a chapel-like building, it's actually a housing building. And when I read the history again, it's not the chapel, it's the place where the priest, it's like a seminary, the place that the brothers were staying, it's a living quarters. But now it's not, it's a housing development, a housing project.
Yeah.
So there's a lady coming out with a prayer. I was like, oh, hi miss, is this Saint or whatever, right? And he said, oh yes, it is. I was like, I'm staying there now. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just looking for the place because I heard it's haunted. And this is a story. She was like, oh my God, I never knew it's haunted. Now I can't go home. I'm alone.
Oh dear.
She like push a prayer really quickly and she just goes off. So poor thing, I probably like ruined someone's life today.
Probably. Well, speaking of York, I have a dad joke for you.
A dad joke? Okay, sure.
Okay, well, I'll put 3 dad jokes in.
Before that, I need a drink because dad joke requires some form of alcohol in our system.
I think you will agree with this one.
Okay, you want to take a shot? Are you okay?
I might want to use the loo actually, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, I shall be right back, ladies and gents. So.
Oh, that beer that we have drank needs to go somewhere. Angmo goes to the Mio to Porsche. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because Scott was around, I didn't want to go and swan his Among Ghost. Now that Scott not around, I can swan his Among Ghost. Among Ghosts, compared to Asian ghosts, ain't got nothing on us, okay? Our Among Ghosts will fucking kill you, will scare you, will sit on you, will possess you, will fuck you up. Among Ghosts is just pew, 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 pew through the wall, sit there, look at you, look lonesome. I don't know lah. But I find, I'm not dissing Among Us, okay? I think Among Us have Among Us qualities. But I've grown up on Among Us being so romantic that the idea of being scared silly by Among Us almost never come to mind. Like, you find a Victoria girl holding a head in the end, in her hand. Like, will you run? Or you're like, oh, that's cute. So yeah, that's kind of me with how I'm like when I'm here. When I listen to the story, I love the story, I appreciate the story, I believe in the story. But it doesn't quite hit that spot that Thai horror have, Japan horror have, Indonesian horror. Walao, our supernatural in the eastern side is the fuck you one, okay? Can die one. But the western side, what is predominantly more popular here is legacy haunting, sightings of time of old, different planes, different timeline. They don't often disturb you, except for one particular location that I think it's Punch Bowl, the Tavern of Punch Bowl in York, probably has the most malicious spirit. So according to the legend of this Punch Bowl place, there were at least 3 witches. This one witch was Isabella was a waitress in Punch Bowl, but back then Punch Bowl also doubles up as a brothel. So you could like kind of drag the waitress up. Yeah, come on in. Is it locked?
Yeah, it's locked.
Why does everything happen to me on Supernatural Confessions?
You could drag the waitress up and, I suppose, have your way with her lah. But okay, so one of these nights, a drunken, I'm talking about a punch bowl in York.
Okay.
Because they're talking about how Among ghosts not malicious, Asian ghosts more malicious.
Oh, trust me, there are malicious ghosts.
So this lady Isabel did not want to go out with this drunkard patron. She resisted. So he chased her all around the brothel and smashed her against the door, against the wall, and throttled her until she died. So the assumption I made was he is probably like called to court, a verdict was passed and he was hung to death. His ghost still haunts Punch Bowl, and patrons have heard crying of a woman, banging on the wall, and on some nights, some patrons can even feel themselves being strangled. One of the landlady, who owned the establishment before, was walking along the second floor, around the rooms. She's no longer a brothel, it's a tavern now. Had her hair pulled back.
Oh, jeez.
She fell backwards and dragged across the floor. Means she's holding, somebody's grabbing her hair, right? But she's seeing there's no one. Dragged until she was down the stairs to the first floor. She was so scared, she fled the place and just kind of sold it off to us.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of instances of some haunted places here that, like that kind of stuff has happened. Like you get either dragged by the foot or pulled off your bed and stuff like that.
But you will now have to tell them the vicious stories of those London version.
Oh.
Because I will now need to go and take a piss.
Okay, sure.
So
We'll switch sides.
The stage is all yours.
Okay, so we were talking about how European ghosts don't have the malicious things. I'm here to tell you otherwise, because there are reports and there are things that have happened. One of which I have mentioned is people being pulled out of bed, and as Eugene mentioned, with their hair and everything. They have been pulled out the beds, been dragged across the floor before. These things have happened. I think the worst one was, I think, just into the 1900s or late 1800s. there's this place called 50 Berkeley Square in London, which is supposed to be the most haunted house in all of London. People have stayed there and have left the place at night, not even in the day. The landlord himself did not last long. He ran from the house screaming and was committed to a mental asylum, a mental hospital thereafter. But I think the most gruesome thing is there was two sailors who decided to use then, in that late 1800s, 50 Berkeley Square as their, a night to stay in because they were out and about, they had no place to stay, had a bit of drinks. So they decided to stay in 50 Berkeley Square. The next morning, in the early morning in fact, one of the sailors jumped out of the window. And if you've seen how London townhouses look like from the Victorian and Georgian eras, they always have these spiked fences over there. And you see where I'm going with the story. So one of the sailors jumped out of the window because he was so scared of the entity, which is what it's called, and had himself impaled on the railings itself. The other sailor was found a couple of meters from the house in a delirious state, shaken and everything else. So yeah, I think in terms of spirits being malicious, they're everywhere. I mean, I think not just in Asia where we believe that. I mean, yeah, you've got the Pontianak, you've got the, not Pocong, but other spirits that I can't recall right now. But I think in in the West, you have these entities that are just as malicious as the ones in Asia. It's just that we don't see it because everything is so what's the word? Everything is just out there in the open. Oh, you see this, you see that on video. But there are stuff like the Fae folk, especially the Barkhes, where even I don't really dare to mess with. These are the things I'd stay clear away from. Especially with entities, like some homes do have this very oppressing feeling, and that could lead to bad things happening as well. In the case of the lady who was dragged across in the pub, and not in my case, but the case that I know, which is 50 Berkeley Square, the two sailors dying and the landlords going mad and crazy as well. So it happens, but in different ways, not physically, but maybe mentally as well.
Yeah. There's a question by CL that I thought was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Got any modern ghost or poltergeist in London now? If there is,
Oh, sure, there are. Yeah.
So far the places that I've been, because it's all old taverns, 500 years old and all that, they have a very different kind of hauntings. But to answer your question, yes, I'm sure there are new hauntings. It's just not a place that I'm visiting. In fact, later on, we are visiting an old place as well, was it?
A medieval church.
Medieval church.
So, should I say the name?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, we are going to visit St. Bartholomew the Great Church in Clerkenwell. It's next to Spitalfields, and this church has been around since the medieval period. So about 902 years old by this year. And the story behind it is that it was a court jester went on the Crusades, and he had a vision of the Virgin Mary in that part of in London, and he set up the church there. And over the years, it was built, and there are a lot of ghost stories. And the head verger who will be taking us around, has some story of his own. Some of them quite, what's the word? Quite curas.
Quite curas.
Quite curas. And some of them actually being very, I think you could say spooky, because imagine he's there in a medieval church. And I'm going to say this, if there are any fans out there of Diablo, the first one. Yes. It kind of looks like the church from Old Tristram. Stay a while and
listen. Someone was saying, we're talking about a wear white gown. Again, would I travel all the way from Singapore to London just to get confessions of modern day ghosts haunting a high-rise office building? I probably think that the kind of confessions or the kind of hauntings that someone in that environment would experience would be something similar to back home.
Yeah, but I think like from your experience here so far, I don't think office spaces here are that haunted. I mean, there are some.
Yeah.
I know there's one in Manchester that I know.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the UK, it's pretty much it's hustle and bustle. So with that amount of activity and life going in and out, and let's face it, although people do overtime, there's not a lot of them who do overtime. So 5:30, clock out, you're gone.
Is there a London Ghostbuster team, or a London version of Supernatural Confessions? Someone here?
I don't think so. I mean, there are a lot of ghost hunting channels. There are a lot of ghost hunters per se, but not in terms of collecting confessions. I think SC is the most unique one.
So we're moving over to SC now. We're moving over to London now to collect lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it could be a yearly thing, like
Yeah.
maybe summer or your choice of month. But I think October is going to be quite tough because everyone's going to do the same thing. So that's difficult.
Maybe not October lah. I like Greenwood's 41 message. Has Eugene seen the headless ghost with some scones and tea? I mentioned this on my show a few times where I say, I think a Pontianak is going to be so much scarier, with a long white gown, long black hair, you know the fear of Pontianak. And prior to coming here, I was like, what would I potentially see? Would I see a woman in long white gown and headless and holding her head in her hand and going, buttered scones and tea?
Yeah, but you see, you say that, but nobody makes a sound when they see you. You may see a headless person. I think the worst thing is that for some manor houses and castles, which you can stay in, most of the time, the female ghosts, you see their silhouette, but you don't want to see them up close because people have said that they have this. There's no eyes in the eye sockets, so it's blank. And when paint is cracked, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of like cracked feeling that comes down here, that white pasty crack thing. And with the gaping mouth and black teeth or black, you just can't see anything there. That's what a lot of people, I think in England, Wales and Scotland have described these female ghosts.
The broken porcelain face.
Yeah. I mean, there was, and this is just me regurgitating the story from the Tower of London. There was a guardsman, I forgot which guard company, maybe it could be Grenadiers or the Welsh Guard, Scots Guards or something. He was guarding the Tower of London, and one night as he was walking, as all guards do, if you see someone who goes there, bayonet pointed straight at the entity.
Yeah.
And this entity had no head. So basically what she was is, she was standing as it is right now. You can see a veil right here, but you can't really see any corporeal head or something like that.
Yeah.
She turns around slowly, facing him, and walks straight towards him. And I think he fainted on sight, and there was a report on it. And
You know what's really cute? Only people get to see your backside only.
Oh, jeez.
They don't get to see your head, but I think we can all assume how Scott's head looked like lah.
Yeah.
Butt shot. Yeah.
But the guardsman did die from the incident out of fright, apparently. So it's nothing to mess. I mean, this headless entity, if it's Tower of London, we all know it's going to be Anne Boleyn, or at least one of Henry VIII's wives. There have been other instances where people have died of fright as well in other places in the UK. So these ghosts, they do have a certain fear to them. Because I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
In terms of Japanese yokai, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was thinking, the one that doesn't scare me or anything is Noperable, which is the faceless ghost.
Well, now that's the scariest shit, man.
Yeah,
Faceless ghost.
but you see what I mean, right? I say that,
Yeah.
and I was saying, that doesn't scare me one bit. And then he says, no, well, it doesn't. But imagine you going down the dark alley, you see someone coming to you. As it comes closer,
Right
there's
place,
no
right
face.
time.
I was like, okay, yeah, you got a point there. So it's kind of like that. We're kind of like in that no parable situation.
Yeah.
Where it's not scary, but until you face it, yeah.
It's not, everyone are sitting at home, fucking aircon room, sit here, Gong Jia Wei, we all are here down in the trenches, seeing the potential ghosts. Oh yeah, of course not scared lah. I also say not scared until I run away. Common smell,
He did the Eugene there.
Ooh. And some other comments. Who is this Scott actually? Scott was one of our confessors. Scott also lives in UK. Scott runs a beautiful tea business. You want to tell them a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I specialize in and sell Japanese tea here in the UK. I trained in Japan with my tea master for a year at least. And he understands where I'm coming from. So he basically sent me all over Japan to try different teas and to sharpen my palate. And then once I'm ready, he allowed me to come back to the UK to set up the tea business, which is called Hachisen. So unfortunately, I don't do international sales at the moment because of, it's quite expensive and I don't have the right service. But for those who are living in the UK, if you do want Japanese tea, do hit me up at Hachisen Tea. Yeah.
Show them your back, the logo.
Oh, right. So this is what it looks like, my logo. And our teas are very simple. Genmaicha, of course, like something.
The packaging is sweet lah.
Very sweet. The way I've done the packaging is based on the Japanese top, so every color has a distinction for its flavor. So yeah, very simple, very sweet, and to the point really. I don't charge exorbitantly. I charge accordingly. And what it is that I do the quality control with my master every spring. So every new batch that comes around, I have a taste test. I say, all right, this is good, this is good. We compare our notes. Notes as in our taste notes, what we feel, what we taste about it. And if it's a good harvest, we agree. If not, we say why it's not a good harvest. And then we say, okay, we'll bring in the teas this year and so forth.
I think I got to come back once a year already lah, Scott.
Oh, you have to.
You have to. Once a year for this.
I'll teach you how to make a sencha hai, which is 25 ml of soju, and then cold brew sencha.
Soju as in soju, alcoholic soju. You got me an alcoholic.
There you go.
Wow. We got a message also from Greenwood41. I'm going to try and read it in the accent that I think is intended for.
You got to hold your cup in that distinct, gentlemanly manner.
Yes. My pinky out. He says, some scones and tea, governor.
Yeah, if you're buying one, I'll take it from you if you don't mind.
Can you speak there's different, like on the way out just now we mentioned there's Ali G, there's like the Chats, the Scouser.
Yeah, well, there are different accents in London. The weird thing is I can never do an English accent, but I can do a fairly good Scottish accent, and it comes out very naturally in me, especially when I'm with Scottish people here.
Yeah.
And it's all probably part of my past life, I suppose.
I think so too.
I think so, yeah.
I can do a good Scottish accent with my Indian friends.
Aye, you can. Aye, you can.
Aye, you cannot.
You can't even do a single in accent with you.
If you say you can't in England, wouldn't it be like you cursing someone like you chibai?
No, not really. I mean, they get the thing, even if you have an accent to it, but...
Oh my God, bro. This is like the best comment that I think I've seen in a long while.
That?
Okay, I'll read the previous comment first. Someone says, you look like Scott from Scott Summers from X-Men. That's Atok Kyong. Oh no, you got to see the next one. This is even better.
All right.
Nicholas Ivan Uy. Probably you pay him, is it?
I don't even know
He
who that
says,
is.
Scott looks like a young Keanu in Constantine.
Oh jeez, thank you.
Walao eh! Kelong lah! Who's this? Nicholas Ivan Uy, is it? I gotta check now. Probably it's your other account.
Huh?
It's your second account, is it?
What account? I don't have no account, man.
Okay, like he does look like Constantine, Keanu from Constantine, but the hair.
My hair's my own, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sips. Okay. We are almost going to be 4 o'clock. Actually, we passed 4 o'clock.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Right now, because we got to leave because we have a meeting with the said
The verger at
yeah.
the church, yeah.
Also, I will be meeting when, if many of you who have been with me for some time, when who only creates the Other Side podcast. Samuel, I'm looking at you. I know you're a big fan of when. I'm meeting her here. I'm also meeting potentially Linda. She's also a long-term viewer of SC, patron of SC, Linda Cornfield. She used to narrate our stories as well.
Oh.
She's also in UK. Idris is was our confessor in June for the Live show.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, Idris was Dr. Idris, and he lives in Lancaster.
Oh, wow, that's pretty far away.
Yeah, but he's driving down tomorrow just to have drinks with us.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah. So all that and more, I'm here. I would love to go down to Westminster Abbey today, where we have the Singapore Festival to celebrate.
Right, but isn't that tomorrow, the Singapore National Day?
Singapore, because Singapore's registration is 9. We are many hours behind.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
fair enough, yeah.
So we celebrate today. But unfortunately, I'm here dedicated to creating content. So getting the horror stories for you is more important than celebrating with a bunch of
Use your words, man, not mine.
Singaporeans. I honestly would love to meet the Singaporeans here. I want to, but I'm leaving Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Sunday night is my flight.
Okay.
Because this is Heathrow, I got to be there 4 hours before
Yeah, you have
flight.
to be, yeah.
Which means by the time I check out in the morning, I have breakfast, I take a train down, I'm just going to start checking in already. So tomorrow's my last night here. There's so many things I want to do. I need to go to Camden. That's where all my golf girls are. So
And your mysterious time loop thing with the other story?
Remember the Friday night when somebody was that on your episode?
No, not my episode. Like, I think when Jonathan was still around, so...
Yeah, there was a guy who went to the bar and then he came out 3 days later.
Yeah,
That's at Camden, so I want to go Camden as well.
And if he comes out 3 days later, you know why.
Yeah, so maybe if I miss my flight, honey, sorry, I just went to the Camden bar. It's not me. And we have so many more stories, but I thought I didn't want to miss a Friday night.
Yeah,
episode.
it's a Friday night tradition. Well, afternoon right here, actually.
And I have you here with me. It's very different from seeing you behind a screen.
That is true.
half a planet away.
Yeah.
It would be great if you just hop over the beaches of Normandy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, so we have someone from Florida. We just talked about American ghost stories, ghost town, mining towns.
Yes, we did, yeah.
So perhaps
Arizona, Tombstone, let us know.
Yeah. So maybe out of from the other side, instead of out of London, we can go over to America and just do the Route 66.
Yeah. Oh, better still, Gettysburg. Let's spend the night at
Gettysburg,
Gettysburg in a foxhole.
And we'll stop by a gas station where old greaser will tell us, you young people, beware of the forest out there. Don't go out exploring on your own. And then we'll give you the middle finger. We'll go out there. We have no reception, and then we'll probably get captured by some rednecks.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or the Pine Barrens, the Jersey Devil and all that.
Yeah. Maybe find a mining town that the coal is still burning underneath.
The Hell Town, that's what they call it.
Yeah,
or Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
But Sleepy Hollow will be more a London thing, is it? It was more English.
Well, there is a Headless Horseman just at the borders between Edinburgh and Northumbria, I think. Yeah. Very famous story. I can tell you guys the full story either some other time when we next do FNL or whenever we can squeeze in because we don't know about time right now. So yeah.
Elia Mona Lisa says, I pray for you to capture or at least meet an actual Angmor ghost.
You have, haven't you?
Elia, I think I met Jeff Monroe. So bro, can you just let us, sometimes we not have seen it.
What?
The video.
Oh, right, okay.
We'll end off with that.
I will have to just give me a second.
Skinwalker Ranch, talking about Salim.
Yeah.
Salim, my friend, Salim Hadi. Oh, Salem.
Salem, Massachusetts. Yeah, that would be a nice place to go.
Walao. Salem, Salem, same.
Okay, just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to come right
Okay,
here.
you tap. You gotta make sure. Okay, you adjust first. I will see whether clear or not.
Okay, hang on.
Aperture stories.
Ready?
Wait. Aboy. Wait, let me double check. Still blur. Bring it back a bit. And you're too low.
Here?
Wait. 10 seconds because got lag.
Okay.
No, not yet. Much better. Where you are now is much better.
All right, 3.
The below part, there's the scene. So if you just play and then you click it away, it'll be good.
All right. There you go.
Noise, but I swear I heard 3 knocks coming from the walls. Mr. Mon. Oh! Whoa! What the fuck? Whoa!
I think that's it, right?
Yep.
There you go. Teaser done.
So yes, I have met an Amor ghost, and honestly, there's one night, first night, I mentioned this,
Yeah.
because from my room, I could see a corridor towards the main door. And I hate that sight because it's just corridor to main door. I woke up, I just turned and I woke up because I left my light on. I left all my lights on. I saw someone, means like, just imagine someone has walked past the corridor and you can see the tail end of the skirt, like she's wearing a dress.
Oh, damn.
Right? All my lights are on. The walls are red. Everything is brown and red. This is an old tavern. I can see a white dress. I know a white dress when I see one. Oh gosh! It was like I cannot see the body. Because I can see like when she walks past, like the dress just trails along.
The flapping of the... Is that like, golden fleece, right?
Golden fleece, my friend.
It must be Lady Packet then.
Lady Packet?
Yeah, it has to be like Packet.
Lady Packet came to see me.
Shall I tell them what we saw?
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So as we were filming today, this is what happened. As I was behind the camera filming, what's it called, Justin and Eugene, they were talking about a particular picture in the prospect of Whitby. As I was coming up the landing, where there were some tables, at the corner of my eye, I thought that there was an old man or old woman sitting there with sort of like white hair tied up with a blue, well, sort of like sky blue kind of like shirt. I saw 2 of them and I thought, okay, there's somebody sitting there. I probably want to give them some space. So I started scooching in to give them space. And as I was coming out, there was nobody there. So I thought, okay, maybe they might have gone, through another area to get out. As we finished, I asked Eugene and Justin, hey, just curious, but when we were filming that particular picture, was there anybody sitting, right next to us? Oh. And I thought, it has to be. It can't be because it's such a busy place. And they said, no, there was nobody sitting there. I was like, shit. And then I described what I saw. I was like, okay. And then soon after that, Justin told us that particular area is where they found some artifacts and human remains under the carpet. I was like, okay, there we go.
Yeah. So Sam was saying, Eugene, you mentioned if you had an encounter, you would run to it and ask for 40. Yes, I did. I ran off first because it was a slam. I'm human. My balls shrink. And off, but it's all on camera because I had 2 cameras pointing in different directions, so you can see. And I had my camera on the whole time, so I will stitch it together. But to give it the authenticity, I do not know how I'm going to cut it yet, but it's going to be as real as possible. And I brought my equipment back. I stood in front of the cupboard to communicate with either Sir Monroe or Lady Packet.
I say Airman Monroe.
Airman,
I'd say, yeah.
yeah.
He was a Canadian airman in World War II.
Did I Palo Santo the room? No, I did not, because I chose to stay in the most haunted hotel. It would be counterproductive to go to a haunted hotel and then go and Palo Santo the place. You go there, you pay premium is to have the experience, which I did, and I'm very happy for it. And Emma says, "Sheesh, why sheesh? Sheesh me. Wow, sheesh me." John shouldn't reach you. I don't think so. John reached me. John came in my dream before, so that day he called me. He said, "I think he did come in my dream. I don't remember. Now that day I remember." Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are going to thank you, Alexander Ding. My first donation for today.
Oh, wow,
My first
nice.
donation. No one donated shit to me. Did I miss anything?
Oh, you might have.
No one donated anything. I'm all the way here in London. Can't barely afford a cup of tea. Yeah, but thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for being with me, accompanying me on a Friday night here. I really appreciate with Scott as well. And I do hope to come back here. We have other plans.
We have other plans.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see more of Eugene in London, in different parts, more haunted places, castles per se, let him know, and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. So, hey, walao, this is here $2, $2 Singapore dollars. What can I buy in UK for $2 Singapore dollars?
M&Ms.
Okay. Yeah, coffee here is fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
expensive.
shit.
Everything's gone quite expensive right now.
CL, thank you. Have a real cup of tea on me. Thank you everybody for watching, and I really appreciate it. Every single cent goes a long way. I will be back on Sunday. Today I have my last day with you. Tomorrow one more day with you.
Yep.
Idris today with Wen. I'm so happy to be able to see you guys. Any of you from UK would like to meet up with us? We'll be here till tomorrow. We're going to go Camden. I think we'll have drinks tomorrow there as well.
Yeah,
I'm not
we will.
But if we are unable to meet you, only because thank you. Wow, 谢谢你. This 14.98 I can buy
Yeah, 2 pints.
2 pints.
Two
2
pints?
pints. I
Two
can buy 2
pints?
pints. 谢谢你, Amelia. We are back to back. I have not even had time for my own R&R. There's no time for R&R. I wanted to go to West End and catch a place, also no time. We are back to back on this. I'm only here since Monday, 3 days in York, 3 days in London, and then flight back and forth.
Yeah,
I
quite hard.
lose time on the travel.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, but I love this country. I love hosting this with you, and thank you so much, Scott, for putting the itinerary together.
Oh, you're welcome.
Scott has done research since March, okay, and I feel embarrassed because he would email me long content. I'm like, I cannot read. I don't have time.
Wait, you've also got all the pictures to support that.
Yes.
Just to see the sites itself beforehand.
No, so with this sort of dedication, I really look forward to continue this.
Yeah.
Hosting with you, and I'm sure I will come here more often.
Definitely. We look forward to having you again.
All right. So next week, I'll see you guys back on proper Friday Night Live. Okay?
All right.
See y'all. Any last words, Scott?
No, stay safe and don't let the spirits bite, kick you in the ass, whatever it is.
And, happy National Day tomorrow. I think I should sing a song.
Oh, right. Yeah. Happy National Day to all Singaporeans. Yeah. Enjoy.
There was a time when people say that Singapore won't make it, but we did. We built a nation strong and free. Da, 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 da. The peace and harmony. These are my people. These are my friends. Da, 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 da. We are Singaporeans. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Adios.
How do I end this shit?
I have no idea, man. That's your